And we're back.
Hello.
Before
All
you
right.
forgore, two
Oh.
of us cannot see.
Yeah, I am really stupid. I should have thought of that. Thank you.
No worries. No worries.
There we are.
Excellent. Hiya.
Oh. But now the only thing I'm bemoaning is the fact that we can't call drunk Reyes to the stand. That was too good last week.
Yeah.
Which,
But
yeah,
we've
quick
got-
recap.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, quick recap for folks. We basically ran into drunk Reyes as Morgan was struggling to be annoyed with the amount of people around her. And we finally got the knife admitted into evidence.
Which, yeah, as much as I love Sato as our, medical examiner, I really want to just, yell at her, be like, how did you think a sword came with a downward stab into someone, from that angle? No.
Well, to be fair, all she specified was that a blade did it. It was Emma who was trying to say, oh, it was absolutely the sword.
I mean,
Which,
fair.
lawyer, that's what they do.
Yeah, but then again, this has also been, on both sides, a jumping to conclusions match. But yeah, if I remember right, we are now questioning Han, which I'm sure can only go well.
Yes, and Han was playing stupid until Emma straight up said, all right, knock it off before the government actually starts looking at you.
Oh yeah, no, she showed her, I grew up with money privilege at the end there. Okay, there we go. Once I can actually see my mouse on the screen. There we go. Oh.
Alrighty, gotta put on the voice. You got questions for me then? Why wasn't the alley searched? Because the police found all the murder weapons within minutes. No rational person walked into that bloodbath and thought, gee, I wonder if there's a knife buried under a pile of ash in the alley downstairs.
I mean, that's very fair.
Your witness, counselor.
My turn.
Damn, she just pulled out the gun.
Yeah. I won't be caught lacking again. If my hunch is right,
So I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was gonna say. So I hear you wanted to find the killer, eh?
Oh.
That's it. Show's over. Chapter 2.
Yeah.
End of the series. Goodbye.
I mean, what a way to go out on.
But not now. Build up.
Yeah.
Let's make this last a little bit longer.
Yeah, we need to at least have.
I'd like to see Morgan get through like a third set of murders unscathed.
Yeah, especially since we know that there's still been murders happening between the episodes that she's just like, yeah, no one noticed. I can hit people with a brick.
Yep.
All right. If my hunch is right, it'll be critical that I gather as much information as possible about the scene of the crime. And the ways in which it has changed after I left. When did Cyanus Security first arrive on the premises, ma'am?
Midnight.
About 2 hours after my client was arrested. You're sure?
Checked my messages and saw the time right on my phone when we got there.
You were there yourself.
Trouble with being a site supervisor. You gotta stay on site.
I felt that in my soul.
A lot of naps and parked cars.
Han, let's slip a few details about the bill.
Parked cars. What were you doing? Breaking into other people's cars and taking a nap there?
That or you're being
To be
invited
fair-
into them.
I was gonna say, to be fair, either that or just Han, the Blue Bloods just have spare cars lying around.
Yeah, but who's keeping track?
They're a mafia. They keep track of like pennies.
Yeah,
you're
right.
Yeah, no. Al Capone died for our sins, said every mafia fucking accountant. Han, let's slip a few details about the building's setup when we first met. Time to get it out on the record.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you know who owns the building that these crimes took place in?
I don't.
Do you know who installed the security features on the location?
It was Cyanus.
Must have gotten hired by someone.
Not my department.
But you recognize some of the handiwork.
The front door was Cyanus. The individual vault room locks too.
That front door was locked when officers arrived. They had to shoot it open. Shouldn't your security system recognize officers of the law?
Our doors use physical locks. A lot of folks in the lower wards don't trust a fob scanner that can be hacked.
Physical locks can be bypassed too.
Sure, but at least that takes time.
A lockpicker in the audience just laughs. Whenever I think about that, I just think about that one episode of Columbo where they have a locksmith come in and he completely opens a door in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Can I just, this reminded me of a thing that I learned literally, what was it, like 2 days ago? So, a couple things actually. So, first and foremost, my buddies and I we do this thing every Thursday. It's pizza night. We all order pizza and we like stream movies and stuff together, right? So this week we decided to watch The Great Muppet Caper. This matters. This is relevant to what we're talking about, I promise.
I mean, it's Muppets. I'm already intrigued.
Right. So we get to the scene where like Kermit finds out that he's been swindled by Miss Piggy and he's sitting on a park bench. And a guy who, what's funny is I didn't clock this at first. A guy who's vaguely Columbo shaped walks up and sits next to him and starts a conversation. Two things. First off, we're seeing this movie. I've never seen this movie before. I look at this and go, that looks like the guy who was the grandpa in The Princess Bride. And my friend goes, I'm pretty sure that's correct. They pull it up. They pull up the like wiki page on the actor, right? Sure enough, that is who that is. You know who else he is?
Columbo.
He's Columbo. Right?
Yeah, Peter Falk.
And they're like, oh, he looks vaguely Columbo shaped. Oh, that's because he is Columbo. They continue reading. Apparently, turns out, he wasn't even cast in the Muppet film.
But he just showed up?
When they shot that scene, he just showed up and sat down next to Kermit and started talking.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because like I said, I've never seen it before. So it's the fact that they just kept it in. They just kept it in. They were like, "Hey, can you do like another take?" And he was like, "Sure."
Yeah, no, if I'm pretty sure the entire like thing, even after they record it, was completely improv.
Correct. Correct, it was. And they did like 2 takes just to refine it, but the whole thing was improv. They did pay him for it after the fact, but that entire cameo was not supposed to be there.
I would definitely, yeah, that's great. I also love that leads to one of the most memed moments ever. That's the most completely wrong thing I've ever heard.
And again, it's the fact that like I don't know how to explain that. That's the most Columbo thing to ever Columbo.
Oh yeah.
Sir, we don't need method acting.
But yeah, should we stay or press on this?
What are the Morgan options here? There. Do all the doors require keys?
Enough of her stay.
I say stay.
Yeah, we are on a 15. That's pretty high for blackjack.
The alley.
Oh, oops.
It was fine.
It was a warm night, I'll bet.
You asking me about the weather? Not exactly a grade A small talk. Relevance, Your Honor?
I was trying to be polite, but if you insist. Were the windows open in the building when you arrived?
There's a lot of windows. Not sure.
The crime scene in the room directly below it. Were the windows open?
Yes, those windows were open where Sinus arrived.
Strange, didn't it rain that night?
That drizzle was over before 9 p.m. And even if it had been a downpour, it's not a crime to risk getting your windowsills wet.
Alright, so the building wasn't completely sealed by the time you got there?
Yeah, definitely, press.
Okay. Why was the building made soundproof?
Dunno, I'm not a building inspector, and I got the impression this wasn't a place that cared about certifications.
You oversaw the site for days, and yet you can't tell the courts.
The witness has already answered, Your Honor.
I was gonna say, I half expected her to be like, "What are you, a cop?"
I feel like the only reason why that's not being said is because there's still probably a bunch of cops in the gallery.
Oh, that was the joke. That was entirely the joke of like, "What are you, a cop?" Proceeds to pan out.
A witness that knows when to stop talking. At least I'm no worse off for having asked. And yeah,
the alley.
That knife was found in the alley only yesterday, even though the police should have searched there.
Yep, seems like not everyone did their job.
Did you do yours? Was the alley monitored around the clock?
It was.
Oh! Oh, just seeing a 20 next to a 21 in blackjack. Oh. Any disturbances to the scene in the alley?
No, none. I want to say...
That's it. If we want, we can save right before we press, because that seems like probably a good idea for here if we're going to press.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, here we go. So there's no opportunity for someone to plant that knife there after the crime occurred? Not even a blue blood?
There were cops coming in and going all over. Why don't you ask them if we went around planting evidence? We did our damn job.
And that's why we save scum.
So we want to press on the other one.
Yeah. Alright. Okay, go through here, blah, blah, blah. I think this is because we did see that one person come out that was tied to, I want to say, the Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Is there any way to unlock that front door without its key?
I mean, you could use a spare, right?
Is there any way to lock that front door without its key?
Yeah, but the technique's real complicated. You walk out and let it shut behind you.
The door is designed to lock behind you automatically.
It's a selling point for a building designed to be secure.
Thank you. That was a very enlightening conversation. But it raises one question. Whoever could have gotten inside the building before Chopin and Rogers?
The hell are you talking about?
I love that we can see that we just activated 80.
Yeah. Your Honor, perhaps Counselor Morgan might narrow down her absurd attention-grabbing claim first. So that the people can properly eviscerate it.
Yeah, what she said.
Someone got into the building before Chopin and Rogers did. That's become obvious.
What are you talking about? The only way into that building was through the front door. Chopin had to shoot it down. Are you suggesting that he didn't even try turning the handle first? Yeah, the front door was locked.
The door was definitely locked when those two arrived. This witness has testified that the door is designed to lock itself automatically, so it's impossible for the door to have been left unlocked.
As you say, but in that case, if we know that the front door was locked all night, then we know that the master key was found on Creek's body on the 3rd floor, then where do I even... What the hell are you trying to say anyway?
Just that they used a spare key!
Oh, a spare key. How convenient. But completely unfounded.
The witness just testified that a spare key is the only other way in.
Unfounded,
There's-
yeah, but like they literally just said. "Did you
Yeah.
Not here, like. All right.
But there's no proof that a spare key even exists.
Actually, I'm pretty sure we pulled Han back up here. We can get them to requisition the door's install. Like, all those security things actually have, like, serial numbers and lists on if they have spare keys attached to them.
I'm surprised no one pulled a subpoena.
Yeah, though I feel like this game is almost like subpoenas are implied, but then again, I've also had tons of time yelling about discovery in this game, so, eh.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's one of those things that, like, this is not a criticism of the game, but I'm sitting here like, a subpoena would come really, really far in handy right about
Yeah.
now.
Morgan also seems like the type to where she doesn't necessarily use subpoenas when she can just grab it herself. That it's more part of the
totally.
challenge.
100%. 100%. I also just have this mental image of her looking at, literally looking at Sarah and going, "Would you do me the honors of writing up a subpoena real quick?" Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And like she
Well,
has threatened people with it before, but that's just about it because again, it's about the challenge for her.
Yeah, yeah.
No, is it wrong that my brain, like, when you said that, we just went to Sarah, subpoena. All of a sudden, you just hear a printer noise, and out pops a receipt from her mouth.
No, you understand exactly the intention. No, that's it. That's correct.
Shakes hand, shakes hand.
Probably?
So how about I show the courtroom where it was hidden instead? Here's a drum.
Dumpster, right, because it had the movement marks on it.
Yep, I'm just making sure everything else. I do not. That's the one thing I would say is the thing I don't like about this game is this like selection process needs to be a lot more sensitive because it just swings between them. But let's do us a bet.
Yeah. The dumpster? What is your obsession with presenting evidence found in the garbage?
I need to justify making my apprentice lick things. I'm going to ignore that comment, and besides, there wasn't a spare key in the dumpster. It must have been underneath it.
Huh? What, is that true? Hey, don't look at me. I have no idea what she's talking about.
That dumpster has clearly been moved as indicated by the markings left behind from dirty rain in the lower wards.
We can all see those marks, Counselor, but it could have been moved at any point after the last time it rained down there.
Correct.
The witness just...
That's the point.
Yep, the witness just testified that the last time it rained was 9 p.m. on the night of the murder.
So what? Your claim is that a spare key to the front door was left underneath the dumpster?
Not so dissimilar from leaving a spare key under a potted plant.
Or a setting stone? Or a Biwa statue?
I feel like those are more situational.
This isn't anything like either of those examples. That dumpster is massive, and its wheels are long gone.
Correct. So if anyone had moved it after the police had arrived, the cops definitely would have heard it. If it was moved after the rain stopped before Chopin and Rogers got there, that narrows it down to sometime between 9 and 10 p.m. And of course, someone would only bother to move a dumpster that heavy if they knew they'd find something underneath. Someone like...
On.
Alright.
Wanted arms.
Yeah. It had to be Han, of course.
Counselor!
As a known associate of the Blue Blood Mafia and an employee of the security company who installed the front door at the crime scene, she'd have known exactly where to find a spare key. That dumpster also happens to be incredibly heavy. But I don't believe this witness's mod documentation has been submitted to the courts. Could you estimate for us the approximate lifting strength?
You lift with your back, not your arms, lady.
That hurts me somewhere deep in my soul.
Hmm.
Pushing strength, then.
Me? I couldn't push over a flower. Fact is, you're just bullshitting.
Maybe you should be drawing attention to your mods, then.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you mean those lovely little mods you got there?
They're just decorative, spiky wristbands. You know, everyone has a goth phase. There's no proof of any of what you said.
We could check for your fingerprints on the front door.
You'll find them because I've used it plenty of times. It's my job.
We can check for your fingerprints on the dumpster.
That thing's filthy. You'd get nothing but partials from a bunch of unlisted and addicts and whoever else is stumbling into that alley.
Would we?
Don't know. But after you do, I might just recall how I nearly puked when I saw that crime scene. And how I might have stepped out into that alley to catch my breath.
You do realize you're currently under oath and also security footage?
Yep.
Would you believe I rested my hands on that dumpster then?
No.
This line of questioning is unproductive, Your Honor. Counselor Morgan cannot substantiate her theory because the fact is, there's nothing strange about Han's prints being on any centimeter of that building. Not when she's spent nearly 2 full days patrolling it.
True. Fingerprints won't be enough. I need something more impactful. And I've got just the thing!
What?
Han was there that night. She was there before the police ever were. And she was there long before Cyanus showed up at midnight. And I can prove it right now.
How?
By torturing my android. Exactly.
What?
I'm going to prove how she got there before the police did.
What the hell was that? Did you really have to do that again?
What is happening right now?
This is a simple whistle. Every time I press it, every ad in the courtroom picks up a rather nasty frequency. As does any phone with the proper receiver app installed. So, should the witness be excused so she can answer her phone, Your Honor?
You brought that shit into the courtroom?
It's evidence.
Where
Yeah.
exactly was this whistle found?
At the scene of the crime, of course.
Near where Creek's body lay.
Police must have disregarded it as a keychain or a toy. Didn't anyone ever teach them when you find a button, you should press it?
That's the exact opposite of what you should do at a crime scene.
Well, I'm the one who's currently beating you at this case, so... Yesterday, Dr. Sato testified that Creek was alive for the several minutes after being shot. If he pressed the whistle even once in the time, the witness's phone would have started getting alerts. As I've demonstrated to the courtroom just now. Anything to say for yourself, Miss Han? Did someone install the app on your phone as a prank?
Its reception has a limited range.
The lower wards is a tight-knit, high-density community. How far could you have been?
Far. I wasn't even in the area that night. It doesn't matter what range she was at, Your Honor. The defense claims that Han entered the building with some kind of spare key, letting the front door lock behind her to block Chopin and Rogers. But those two officers did enter after they shot the lock, at which point they didn't run into the witness.
Creek was shot at around 9:45. Considering the time it would have taken Han to arrive and retrieve the spare key, she would have only had a few steps ahead of. She would have been only a few steps ahead of Chopin and Rogers.
After coming so far with your brilliant spare key deduction, are you now going to claim that she simply ran away?
Ran away, brave, brave Sir Han.
I'm sorry, but given the way her mods already look, I immediately went to picture her in a full-on night outfit.
I was gonna say, who said that we were running? Again,
Yeah.
looking at what Morgan's about to say, I imagine fire escapes, climbing.
Yeah. No, at that point, she would have had to hide.
Right, because one of the vaults was unlocked when they got there, when London and Reyes looked.
Since they didn't see her, logically she must have... We must conclude that she hid in one of the rooms on that floor.
That is logical, but it's also entirely conjecture.
Not this time. Detective London's
Sorry,
testimony Go ahead.
I just immediately got the flashbacks of Jonathan Frakes from what was that show? The one where they give you 3 scenarios and 2 of them are fake.
I know what you're talking about now. I can't think of the name either.
Yeah. Anyway, we know the show. I just immediately thought of him during those compilation scenes. Not this time. We made it up.
Detective London's testimony established the possibility. Remember what the good Detective London testified earlier?
I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I think I might just do his voice.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that'd be funnier if London's voice came out of Sarah.
That's what I was imagining. Is
Yeah.
nothing is stopping her from just mimicry, immediately giving the voice of the person that just spoke. Rogers had already apprehended the subject, so we on the securing area. Sunshine and I cleared the first floor, and rooms were empty. One was unlocked. Can you teach me how to speak brackets out loud later?
I'm glad you already predicted what was actually happening. Perfect.
Amazing.
2 police detectives have sworn that one vault on the first floor was found unlocked. Unlocked, perhaps by a spare master key. What? What? That fucking face.
His lips are so pouty.
I think he straight up is.
Yeah. I also,
I
if
think
we
that
tilt
is
this,
about.
also we tilted this up just slightly a different angle, we'd get no bitches from him.
Is that some kind of big deal?
Your Honor, what Counselor Morgan is proposing would put the witness behind Officers Chopin and Rogers as they proceeded upstairs.
Not a bad place to be. If you want to do some backstabbing.
You've got to be shitting me. That's some creative geometry you're employing, Counselor.
Not really, I hate Overwatch.
Okay. Oh man, you got me there.
No, I'm glad.
Imagining the witness has somehow gotten positioned behind Tariq Chopin, yet somehow remaining invisible to the eyes of Officer Rogers.
That's... Can we all just agree Rogers is shit? I mean, I thought we established that earlier.
Yeah. Non-Euclidean crime scene recreation. Very novel.
To be fair, all crime scene recreation is non-Euclidean because we live on a globe.
I was about to fucking say it too.
Yeah. Are you telling me you're a flat earther, Emma? Don't make me lose all respect for you.
Her insult sounded really smart, so I'm inclined to agree.
Me when I call someone a free syllable word insult.
I thought I had something, but when I tried to put the cards on the table... How could Han have gotten behind Chopin on the 3rd floor? Was Rogers distracted at the window? Maybe you're... Wrong question. I'm getting ahead of myself. Trying to work backwards at this point. I shouldn't ask what Han could have done to get in a position where she was able to kill Chopin. I should first ask what Han would have done to serve her own interest. Your Honor, there's some testimony I'd like the court to hear once more. If you could access the stenography protocol.
The what protocol? Was I supposed to be taking minutes for this meeting?
Oh my god.
I can recall any testimony you went to review.
If Han won't self-incriminate, the only testimony that could give me a clue as to her actions would be... Also, okay, sir, you might actually get a raise now, since we can't actually rely on a stenographer.
I was half expecting 80 to be like, we have a what now?
I would have also loved if they would have just revealed a stenographer that's been there for the last 2 cases and never been addressed.
That would have been really fucking funny.
Alright, I'm gonna save here while we think on this one.
Could you bring up the backlog with the L? Tom won't self-incriminate. The only testimony that could give me clues to her actions would be... And who are our options again?
London, Sosuke, and Rogers. Which, I'm gonna see if we can't pull that
I was
up.
gonna say try Rogers.
Okay. Recite. There we
Yeah!
go! Recite Rogers' testimony for me from yesterday. Start from after they entered the building.
What are you fishing for?
Nothing. That'd be Sosuke's hobby.
Okay, so how do you want to do this, Saris? Do you want me to read it, or do you want to try doing my Rogers voice?
Why don't you do it?
Okay. We heard a loud slam. Chopin gets all deadly serious and insists I stay, and he goes on ahead.
That's it. The sound Rogers heard from the alley, the one that made Chopin want to form a pincer. That must have been when Han...
landed on a dumpster.
Yeah. The sound the officer heard was the sound of someone fleeing the scene. Out the window, down the fire escape. And onto the dumpster. It's a bit of a drop. Even a dainty suspect would make quite the racket using the dumpster lid to break their fall.
Your Honor, if we have to entertain this thread of conjecture, might we at least ask for proof that it ends somewhere impactful?
I hear ya. Counselor Morgan, take this one seriously.
You're telling me that? Oh, you're telling me that.
What exactly are you accusing the witness of?
Are you prepared to accuse Han of having murdered Tariq Chopin? Nah. Nah, this feels too early.
Yeah. Still do a save here.
I was gonna say, we could always save.
Yeah. Listen, man. We have the access to a JoJo's villain power. We're going to use it.
Fair enough.
Alright. But yeah,
I was gonna say stay.
If my theory's right, then it was the sound of Han fleeing the scene that caused the cops to split up. In other words, at the time she left, Chopin was still alive. No, she's been uncooperative and has lied on this witness stand. But she didn't kill anyone.
Huh.
Oh, that was anticlimactic. I mean, perjury. Who even cares?
Oh wow, this really is Ace Attorney.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're showing your fucking Phoenix right here, and I want to shake you like Game Riders.
Perhaps now, Your Honor, the court can get back on track and bring this witness's testimony to a close. And considering the fact she may very well have perjured herself, I think it might be better use of the court's time if we cleared the room for the remainder of this witness's testimony.
No objections, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. Bailiffs, clear the gallery and remove the defendant to a holding room.
Forcing us out? What the hell?
Hey, tag along, would you?
With Sosuke?
Can't let someone with a concussion fall asleep, right?
I am certainly not still concussed at this point.
That's
Not how concussions work.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Will do. See? He's delirious. Yeah, I would just gone with Sosuke. She could literally bend any piece of metal in this courtroom in a full semicircle. She's stronger than you. Let her just watch over you. Trust me. Oh, Morgan's pretty sure that someone's going to try to eliminate him.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. Good luck.
Place empties out faster than I thought.
No gallery, no jury live feed, no bells and whistles. You just give your testimony to the defense, the people, and moi. Then, when you're done, I get to watch them argue over whether or not I should add it to the record.
So, you think I got something contentious to say? Sorry, but it's gonna be more of the cold shoulder.
What I think is that you're scared.
The hell? Of what? Who? You?
An audience.
What? The pigs? You think I give a shit what any of them says, does? Oh, then thinks, says, or does. Blah.
You're good. Even if any one of them might leak what you say back to the old guard.
What's an old guard?
The ruling faction amongst the Blue Bloods, who use young bloods like this witness as their cannon fodder.
Where'd you learn about all that? You binge a late dine special?
Knowing Emma, she just learned all this from...
Matter of fact, I did. Old guard knows where my loyalties lie. I'm no snitch.
So now there's someone to snitch on?
I don't help state prosecutors, and I definitely don't help Ikarian lawyers.
The court's already emptied out. We can sit here in silence if you like. 15 minutes of nothing, and then you walk out. But when you do, someone's gonna make assumptions about what went on in here.
Telling me I'm screwed if I do, screwed if I don't, ain't exactly got me feeling.
Sosuke didn't kill Creek. Maybe you don't care if an Ikarian dog goes down for a crime he didn't commit, But how do you feel about the person who did put that hole in Creek's chest, toasting to the news of the verdict? I'm suddenly really glad that Reyes emptied out my liquor cabinet.
Screw this. 9:47 p.m. night of the murders. I got the alarm on my phone. Knew it was Creek because the whistles all have specific frequencies. You gotta set them in your device if you want to listen for them. Creek had nerves like ice. Strong bluffer. Wouldn't press that button unless he absolutely had to. I ran. Way fastest that way, on foot, usually is, in the lower wards. I knew where the spare key was. Helped set up the whole damn place. Doors, keys, soundproofing. Stepped inside and had just gotten my phone light out when those two idiot cops shown up. Reds and blues, but no siren. Trying to be some kind of movie shit. I thought they were gonna shoot me. Then I heard Chopin getting ready to break the lock, and I knew they were gonna shoot me. Used the spare key on the nearest vault, dipped inside, and prayed they wouldn't just head straight upstairs. Lucky for me, they did.
You followed after them?
At a distance, but yeah. Saw their boots on stairs, their shoulders around corners. They split on the second floor. One went upstairs. It was quiet, except for that squeak on the fourth step. Creek used to joke that was a valuable security feature.
They separate on the second floor without any prompting.
Other one was stomping around the second floor, so I was able to keep my distance. Always knew exactly where that one was. Then one shouted down. He shouted, saying that everyone was dead. That must have been Chopin just before Sosuke snuck up on him. I liked Creek. His boys were alright too. But I did not want to join them in Red Hood's company. So I didn't risk sticking around a second longer. I opened that window on the second floor and jumped for the ground. I was willing to hurt my knees, fall on my ass if I had to. But I ended up smacking the dumpster instead. Guy on the second floor shouted after me, "They're in the alley!" I heard windows slide open above me, footsteps on the fire escape. But my knees had stopped shaking and the fog was with me. They never saw me. You're saying you never set foot on the third floor? Not until I came back hours later as a sinus rep. Nah.
Where's the spare key now?
Bottom of the bay at the moment. Hell of a throwing arm, as you can see. I ain't gonna help you go snorkel around for it if that's what you're asking.
I mean, judging by how your mods look, I don't think you go in water a lot.
Well then. The people thank you for your testimony. You've cleared up a number of oddities surrounding this case. Though none of the answers you've provided have changed the fundamental facts of what the defendant is accused of.
Not quite.
She was in and out, counselor. Didn't even set foot upstairs.
I know. Not until she came back to secure the scene, right?
Out with it, counselor. There's no need for theatrics without the jury or gallery here.
I'm still here.
I do appreciate the witness being so forthcoming about her first visit to the scene. Now I just need her to explain why she started covering up evidence when she returned.
What are you talking about? Oh, the one with the blueprint hidden by trash.
Why go to so much effort? Why go to such effort to hide one small scrap of paper?
What is that? More trash? Seriously? That's exactly what it is. Trash. Garbage.
I now feel really bad for London and Reyes because they work directly under Emma, and now they're going to be digging through so much trash on the next case.
Yeah. Some idiot knocked over a trash can on the second floor. It's a big building. This stuff happens.
Still don't want to answer? That's okay. I will. You covered up that scrap of paper because it implicates you as an accomplice.
Didn't see that coming.
Because it's nonsensical, Your Honor. Counselor, you just got done explaining how Han arrived after the pod was killed and left before Chopin died.
Not an accomplice to murder. Just the mafia equivalent of leaking government secrets. Even though the papers were almost entirely illegible. It only took 4 characters for P492 plan to blow up in the court yesterday. Years of blue blood planning all down the drain because Creek was reading something he shouldn't have had when he died. But if he shouldn't have had it in the first place, one has to wonder where he might have gotten it.
All because of that one goddamn watermark.
Identical to the one on your business card.
Sinus security. You leaked the red ink? Creek never asked nobody for nothing. Dumbass was a giver. Gave money, food, blood more than any of us. Enough that the weaker ones wouldn't have to get stuck. Guy like that came to a two-faced con hostess like me and asked for help.
That red ink is radioactive. Anyone caught with it? Why would he ask you for it?
Old guard knew Creek was charismatic, brave, smart. Everything they feared in a young blood. But they also knew Creek made them too much money for them to just off. So the old guard decided to wear them down instead. More jobs than any other crew, more responsibilities. Less downtime, no sleep. Keep them too tired to have them time to rebel, then wait for him to screw up. So you can make an example of them when they do. Managers would do the same thing when a host got too full of themselves. Started thinking they were the ones bringing in the money. They were the ones who should keep it. Just put them on the grind. Grind them into dust. One old bastard had them trying to grab that Ikaria kid or whatever. At the same time, another expected them to do some kind of arms handoff to a big shot. At least that was the rumor. Look, point is, Creek knew they had a target on their back already, so they wanted some kind of deterrent. They could have dropped that red ink into any inbox in town like a tactical nuke if they had to. But maybe that's why they fired their missiles first.
You think the old guard killed Creek?
I don't think it was pretty boy Hound. I don't think it was that pretty boy Hound nursing those broken bones. Did he off the Chopin guy though? I mean, I'd kill a stuck-up, spoiled prick like that for no motive, so... Did that answer your questions, counselor?
Not the most burning one. When did this scrap of paper arrive on the second floor?
I wasn't there when I ran out the window. It was dark, and you were panicked. How could you have even noticed? Paper's white.
If you had... Go ahead. Oh, yeah, it's me.
No, I thought that was my line.
You're good. If you had seen it, would you have taken it?
You kidding? Yeah, of course I would have taken it. Would have eaten the damn paper to make sure. Eating radioactive paper, that ain't good.
I think Sarah's had to step away. Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, good.
Why didn't you simply eat the damn paper later when you did see it?
also, I think they were speaking metaphorically radioactive. If we had isotopes to track, I'm pretty sure this would be a lot easier case.
Yeah. Removing an item from an ARC scan building would set off any number of red flags. And the first thing that would happen is they'd wind the clock back to see what it was. That's what I did. Looked back to see how the hell I missed it, but the damn thing was in every pix the ARCs had, right from the beginning. Knocking over trash to hide it was the best I could do. Lower wards, survival tactics. Hide in numbers.
If this scrap wasn't on the second floor when you left, but it was on the arcs from the start, that means Ray's body cam saw it by the second floor windowsill, the one that connected the fire escapes.
Your Honor, I believe we're done with this witness, even though all we've managed to establish is
that someone went from the third floor to the second floor without taking the stairwell. Someone circled around.
You got that? You got all that from one paper? Am I stupid?
Not answering that, Your Honor. We just talked about perjury.
I plead the fifth. Just because those papers originated on the third floor? If that scrap was found by the windowsill, someone could have taken the fire escape.
Exactly.
Could have. Someone could have. But obviously they didn't, because then they would have run right into...
Dr. Sato!
What?
Eh?
Huh?
She has some evidence, or DNA, or whatever. Maybe even an updated autopsy report, if you even care.
Oh no, not an updated autopsy report.
Yeah, I just like that. Why would you say those cursed fucking phrases? Well, actually, no, that's the perfect phrase for Pride Month right now, considering.
I was gonna say the other thing too is wow, really milking the manipulative tactics for what they're worth. I see.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the number of times I've seen I have an updated autopsy report used for Phoenix Wright Yowie, I can't believe.
Should we let her in?
Your Honor, you're the one overseeing the trial, so...
I love the prospect of yeah, I understand that I am the one who makes all the decisions, but I don't know what I'm doing. So I really would love it if my oomfies would give me some input.
Please tell me I'm not one of those oomfies. Please.
So I can cry if I want to. Open her up. And kick the flirt out.
Damn. Hey, Miss Morgan. That Accordion dog didn't kill Creek's pod.
No, he didn't.
You gonna find out who did? Not your job, huh? Guess I deserve that. Finding Creek's killer is not technically my job either, Han.
I feel like you just wanted to jump on her there.
But if they're brought before me, I can promise I won't hold anything back. Appreciate the sentiment. But I'm not gonna hold my breath. And I won't tell any of the other young bloods to hold theirs.
Internal Morgan monologue. Good.
Yes.
And that's it. It's just the word good.
Yep.
Ooh. Lots of news to break. I'll leave the interpretation of the good and the bad to you two. That's cool. Just imply I'm the ugly. It's fine.
Damn.
Okay, now I want to actually give I want to give 80 a hug if only just because they're referencing one of my favorite movies.
Counselor Morgan's hypothesis stands. The knife matches Miller's entry wound.
Well, how about that?
And it matches the wound better than the katana, considering what we discussed yesterday. I'd be ready to say this is definitely the murder weapon used to stab Miller.
But
I've had no more luck with DNA testing than Sarah did.
You weren't able to get anything?
Nothing in the range of admissibility. However, like Sarah, I was also able to perform blood type analysis on the blade. And while I found AB negative and B negative samples on it, I found one more blood type as well, A positive.
3 people cut with one knife. This can't be hygienic.
Oh yeah, like, killing someone's hygienic.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you don't stick it in your mouth, you should be fine.
Uh-oh.
I was gonna say, we just hear from the, waiting room.
I was gonna say, you know the sound effect that they make when the paper hits Sarah in the head?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yup.
It's just a trail of rainbows now, just following her out the courtroom.
Happy Pride.
I also just love the idea. That can't be hygienic. Emma, someone was bludgeoned to death till their head exploded.
I repeat, what about stabbing a person is hygienic?
A positive blood. Who was there that night that had A positive blood? Oh no, that look.
That face.
Your Honor, these findings bring a rather alarming fact to light that I'm going to wish to have covered up. Because let me just do a check here.
Profiles.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a wild guess. Chopin?
Oh, she's AB negative. Oh, so she could still be on the blade.
Yeah, she could. But no one's thinking it's gonna be her.
I know, but that was... Given the face she gave, I was like, oh no.
Oh, there he is.
Huh?
A positive. Oh, was he stabbed with the knife first and then the katana?
Trap.
Bruh.
I have this mental image, and this is very shitposty, of him just picking up the knife with his bare hand and then putting it back down.
Yeah.
like not the handle, the blade, just picking it up,
Yep.
looking at it, and putting it back down.
Well, no, I imagine picking up in his hand, clutching it like, putting it back down, bleeding. I am mistaked. If Dr. Sato believes that Miller was most likely stabbed by this knife and not the katana, that means that this knife was also the source of Miller's blood on Sosuke's bindings. So either my client killed 4 men while cycling between a gun, a sword, a bat, and now a knife with his wrists tied together.
God, he really is a Yakuza character.
All before ever stopping to cut his bindings. Or he was still in captivity when the Blue Bloods were killed. He's not the Dragon of Dojima, okay? We can check the tattoo.
He's the Hound of Ikaria. Completely different.
Listen. Is the implication here that his bark is worse than his bite?
Ah.
Bye. But wait, that almost sounds like...
An alibi for 4 of the 5 murders.
That is not an alibi, Your Honor.
Merely an increasingly strong shadow of a doubt, which, again, we are using a jury system.
The jury can decide that for themselves. The facts surrounding Sherry Chopin's death still stand. Sosuke Ikaria was the only living individual in the room Chopin was killed in. Sosuke Ikaria is the only person with his fingerprints on the katana. Something he corroborated with his very own testimony just a short while ago. And Then the defense's theorized fleeing suspect has already been revealed as incapable of committing any of these crimes.
Yes! But unfortunately for the people's case against my client, there is evidence that completely overturns our understanding of how Chopin died.
Yeah. I think put it over the katana.
That's what I tried.
The knife that Dr. Sato will just confirm was used on Miller.
Very likely used to kill Miller, yes. But definitively used to kill Chopin!
What? What are you going on about?
Blood typing. Chopin's the only victim with A positive blood. Even my client, Sosuke, has AB negative blood. Yet, Dr. Sato just told us that A positive blood was found on this knife.
That blood could have come from...
Nowhere but the single fatal wound identified on his autopsy.
Chopin's blood was all over that scene. The knife could have fallen into it at any point.
Not at any point, no. This knife was removed from the crime scene and never seen by the Arcs. That means it had been moved into the alley before Detective Reyes arrived on the 3rd floor.
But Chopin was impaled by the sword. We've all seen it.
Yes, but not fatally.
How could the stab wound not be fatal?
Obviously, you've never been stabbed, Emma. Because it was post-mortem.
You're basing this on the blood.
Usually closely follows a stabbing, yeah. It's the amount of blood, Your Honor. An impalement doesn't leave much blood at the scene because the weapon acts as a stopper. I assumed the amount of blood at the scene was the result of the sword being jostled afterwards because the wound had been aggravated.
But this knife turns that idea on its head.
Yes, Chopin was stabbed in the heart from behind, but most likely with this knife. He collapsed on the floor dead, then the knife was removed, and his corpse was impaled with the sword in the same wound.
Leaving a mark on the floor.
The sword was only then moved around, increasing the wound size and masking the initial knife's entry wound.
While utterly soaking the floor in blood. It's a possibility.
I mean, we're having it mostly confirmed by the coroner right now.
If I may, Your Honor. This may be just a possibility, but it's the possibility that makes the most sense to me. It explains the irregularities with the victim's substantial blood loss, the pattern of the wound, and the indentation on the floor.
It might make medical sense, Dr. Sato, but the sequence of actions you've described are not those of a rational human.
But wanting to frame Sosuke for the murder seems pretty reasonable. And stabbing the corpse with his katana would be the best way to do that.
That almost feels like it, because we were she just dropped almost the key, like, Ace Attorney phrase, which was basically turnabout, so I think this might be it, but I'll say before we do it.
I was gonna say he did need the, or actually, yeah, Ray's here.
Hooray! I did the thing!
After you save, of course.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Zako. And hey, Skelly, welcome in, buddy. Okay,
Scary.
We know that guy, and he's getting ready to read debut.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Nope. I'm sure it occurred to them that the sword would point to Sosuke. But if their primary goal was framing him, all they'd have to do is put the knife in his hands.
That's true.
Swapping out the murder weapon and disposing of the knife is 2 to 4 times as much work. That many more chances to make a mistake. It's nonsensical.
Stabbing Chopin's corpse with a katana didn't help them frame Sosuke. So what did it achieve?
Well, it made a big mess. Some poor schmuck would have to clean up.
Yes, that's... Your Honor, I could kiss you. Chopin's blood
Katie
nearly
immediately
destroyed...
starts putting on lipstick.
Somehow Han's still in the gallery, just like, oh, really? Really? Chopin's blood nearly destroyed all the Redding documents at the scene. But who says that's a coincidence? What if Chopin was stabbed twice? Just so that his blood would cover up the Redding docs.
This is insane.
Makes sense to me. Don't have a psychic vow
course it
done on
would.
me.
No, not your logic for the stabbing. This idea of yours that Tariq Chopin was part of some kind of conspiracy to defraud the city.
You've never seen a politician before?
He's a policeman and the son of politicians. How is this hard to believe in our cyberpunk dystopia? Agreed. That is insane. I believe just the opposite.
You... what?
Tariq Chopin was unpopular, straight-laced political aspirant working as a cop only to improve his electability. His personality, his family, his goals, he'd have every reason to blow the whistle on Prop 492.
And just get the whole project canceled?
You truly have never seen a politician before.
Leaving the lower wards in an underdeveloped lurch.
And screwing over to his parents in the process. He really is a politician.
Yep. A lot of people would hate to see that happen. A lot of blue bloods. But the son of 2 city councilmen wouldn't care. And an Icaria like my client would be actively rooting for it.
You think Chopin was murdered just to cover up the fact that Prop 492 had been corrupted?
Just all that money left on the table? All the future money coming down the line? That's much better motive than... What was it you proposed exactly? That my client saw a police officer and would rather stab him than have to explain why he'd killed his captors?
Something along those lines?
So like, what's going on now? Did Sosuke do it or not?
That will be cleared up in very short order, Your Honor. With the help of our final witness. Sarah, quick, subpoena!
We've only got like 20 minutes left, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
20 plus 30, we got about 50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Yoru wasn't even really used to frame me. It was used to draw more blood from the wound to soak the papers.
A very cold decision to make in the heat of the moment.
How long were you thinking that up, Sarah? Actually, don't answer me. I know you're an ad.
Defiling a corpse just to protect investments?
Colder than stabbing someone in the back.
In some ways.
Didn't think that was up for debate.
Thank you for joining us once again, Officer Rogers. No problem. Where is everybody, though?
Well, after yesterday's shooting, or the shooting yesterday, oops, I'd rather not risk the integrity or celerity of this trial by rescreening every member of the gallery when I've already cleared the room once.
Celerity?
Oh, I'm sorry, is that word too big for you? Speed! Trial's gotta go fast, baby! And it takes everyone a while to find their spot in the stands again.
Unrelated, does anyone want to see my Sonic OC?
Do not steal.
We were almost caught in the line of fire not 24 hours ago, Officer Rogers, yourself included. Surely you don't want to find the lack of an audience. Surely you don't find the lack of an audience to be intimidating.
No, I guess not.
Where'd we leave off with this guy, anyway?
I believe that lawyer over there had just accused my late partner of being on the take for the Blue Bloods.
I was merely exploring a possibility raised by witnesses' sworn statements, Your Honor. That he never heard any gunshot in that area himself.
And I stand by that.
Good.
Does the defense have questions for this witness, Your Honor? Or should we all continue to glare at one another for the rest of the day?
Don't pretend like you don't live off the sexual tension here.
Tempting, but I guess we better not.
Your Honor, we ask that the witness testify once more about how he and his partner arrived on the scene.
Yeah, no problem. I'll repeat it as many times as you like.
I'm gonna have to call you on that.
It was a quiet night, but then my partner heard gunshots. We headed for the nearest known Orca hotspot and arrived to find the building dead quiet. Door was locked. I checked the alley, but didn't see another way in. So Chapon shot the lock off the door and we entered. Followed some kind of loud music up the stairs, and there was a slam and my partner bolted to the 3rd floor. About a minute later, I heard a thud from upstairs and came running. To find the defendant standing over my partner's dead body.
Okay, yep, that was just us. We didn't pick the right time to call, but I just wanted to see everything.
Well, considering our only evidence is probably the whistle, then probably pointing at whatever, yep, immediately right there.
Quit that already! As I've mentioned, I feel many times now that it is a very unpleasant tone.
Sorry, Butterfingers.
Has anyone ever told you it's in poor taste to use the same trick twice?
Yes, I ignore them every time. It's been a lot more than twice now.
Yeah, I think it's like 4, 5.
Yeah. And besides, it's only an issue when it's used twice on the same audience. Speaking of which... You gonna answer that, Officer Rogers?
Make it 6.
I love this sprite. Oh.
Oh,
He looks
fuck!
so terrified.
Yep. Just to
Movies
fill
on
you
my
in.
phone!
God.
But no, this... I also love this because this is 110% a fucking Columbo gotcha.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
sir, you gonna answer your phone? Might want to pick that up. Just to fill you in, officer, what I accidentally pressed just now was a whistle found at the scene of the crime. Weird coincidence that my little slip-up coincided with your phone vibrating. Can you read us that notification you just received now? Or should the court computer simply force open all your devices and splatter your data across the walls?
That's called a subpoena.
Officer Rogers, you have so-called receiver application installed on that device, do you not? Yes, I do. Is that in line with the department guidelines on use of third-party software on state-provided devices? It's not breaking any regulation.
Doesn't need to earn you any demerits to make you look guilty as sin. You and your partner, that is. Did Chopin also have the app installed? We can go check.
If having that app on your phone makes you guilty of something, you'd have to arrest half the cops patrolling the lower wards.
I mean, we can do that right now. Let's do it.
But I say, threaten me with a good time, why don't you? What do you mean?
It's common knowledge that orcas use unconventional tactics to talk to one another. Flags on buildings, clothes left out on lines, smoke signals, probably even messenger pigeons.
Where? Don't jump scare me like that.
Oh, pigeons.
When you've gotta figure the statuesque, every pigeon is a disaster waiting to happen.
I forget that she's technically like 9 feet tall.
Anyway, whistles like that aren't uncommon. So it is common for members of the police department to try and listen in to the chatter of groups like the Blue Blood Mafia. Lower wards aren't a place cops walk into without every weapon they can carry. And that goes double for information.
So there's nothing suspicious about his phone reacting to that horrible, horrible racket? Have I had to put up with that noise for nothing?
Not for nothing. He's already got himself in his gotcha. I'm just waiting for it. The witness is correct, Your Honor. There's nothing suspicious about having a receiver installed on any of your devices, even if you aren't a cop. What's incriminating is the fact that Officer Rogers' device responds to the specific frequency on this whistle, which we have Han's testimony for.
Huh?
Sorry, officer, a little blue birdie already told the court that you need an input frequency in order to get an alert for it.
Yeah, I know that. So does the whole force, in fact.
What?
I see.
The hell is she reading over there?
Officer Rogers. Testify about this anonymous tip that the police department received last night.
Oh, fuck!
I haven't seen the submission myself, but it came through the department network straight to everyone's inboxes. Be advised, anonymous tips suggesting potential orchid analog chatter at the frequency listed below. Patrol officers in lower wards use this information at your discretion.
That's absurd. What's the point of informing every cop in the city about a secret communications channel?
Well,
The Blue Bloods would find out their line is compromised within minutes.
Would they? I don't know.
I don't know, too. Apropos of nothing, Officer London, could you come in here for a moment?
I don't control how anonymous tips get handled.
I was gonna say, no wait, you don't want London, you want Reyes.
Yeah. But as soon as you got an email telling you who there might be a criminal communications occurring at a random frequency, you tuned into it right away?
Believe it or not, I'm a little concerned about criminal communications these days. Haven't seen my partner murdered by an orca right in front of me. Barely 24 hours before nearly getting shot myself.
Do you want to repeat that? Your partner getting murdered by an orca? Back up. You saw the moment of your partner's death? That's news to the court.
You know what I mean. Your Honor, the tip was submitted and the frequency was spread throughout the police department network. Likely because the Blue Bloods believed it to be compromised, having already used it at the scene where 4 of their members died. Officer Rogers may have the receiver app on his phone, but so do many other police officers in this city. The app doesn't provide timestamps of when frequencies are added,
So there's no proof when his phone first started listening for the frequency.
neither he nor his partner were members of the organized crimes unit. Therefore, they had no criminal informants of their own, and they could not have obtained this frequency before the rest of the department. Since the defense cannot prove that this signal was acquired illegitimately,
I never said I couldn't prove that. I think it's gonna be this.
right, the Magus, because they stopped him. They stopped
Oh, yeah.
Tank like a week ago, and they
Right.
let him go for some reason.
Yeah.
The gun? What of it?
Not just any gun, a Mag US, legally registered to Anchortan. And how do I know that? Because this gun was identified and scanned over a week ago, when Tanks was briefly detained by some well-meaning officers on patrol.
That report.
Officers TC and HR reported the following: subject in possession of firearm in violation of parole, and subject in possession of suspect communication software installed on personal phone.
He wrote all of that in the report.
The fact you're surprised really shows. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you first.
I was just gonna say, I love that he's just openly admitting to being a corrupted cop. Like,
Yeah.
in like 5K.
And even in
Wow.
death, his partner is too straight-laced and fucks him over. It's like, God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yep. Like, I've known people like that at several jobs. You think I hung out and talked with them at any given time and I didn't have to? You should know this. You and your partner found the emergency frequency for Creek's pod over a week ago by skimming Tank's phone. And sat on it until last night, when you kindly dropped it off in the tip box.
The hell are you even saying? Why would we frisk a perp, get good intel, and keep it to ourselves?
For the same reason your partner might report a generic shots heard over the police network when he already knew exactly where to look. The same reason he'd be ecstatic at finding documents on Prop 492 at the site of an orca bloodbath. You wanted your gold stars. You want to be first on the scene at the site of a blue blood massacre.
Cancel is badgering, Your Honor. And losing her meager thread of logic in the process. And the previous witness testified that there was, in fact, a silent alarm last night. A silent alarm that needs to be actively pressed. It could only have gone out before Creek's heart stopped. Said witness responded to the alarm by traveling on foot, and yet arrived well before Rogers and Chopin.
The lower wars are maze-like. She could have been closer.
That whistle has a limited range over which it can be received. You proposed that Officer Rogers and Chopin were within that limited range at 9:45 p.m., yes? Obviously you do, or else you wouldn't have received the frequency at all.
So, if person H is on foot and individual R is in a police car, and they both receive a signal at the same time, and the train leaves Appletown at 3 p.m.,
There it is.
That seems like an irrelevant factor.
All the court need consider is this. How could Officer Rogers and Chopin have possibly arrived later than someone traveling on foot if all three were within that range?
I can't believe I told my geometry teacher that none of this would ever be useful.
This isn't geometry, damn it. It's just logic. The fact is, they did arrive later than Han. If I'm right about the motivation for Chopin's actions that night, if he was sitting in his police car and suddenly got a notification telling him some blue bloods were having a life-or-death emergency, how would he react in that moment?
It would seem that the defense does not have evidence available to address this contradiction, Your Honor.
Evidence explaining how Chopin proceeded to the crime scene? Trying to think of what evidence we have. Let's see here. Evidence. Okay, not the log, not what I want.
Evidence explaining how Chopin proceeded to the crime scene.
Okay. No.
Nope.
Not a dark card. So I feel like that should have come up by now. Okay, let's see here. Fire escape, front door.
My first thought is the door. Because they shot the door open. That's an indicator of, yeah, they really wanted to get in there.
Yeah.
Where's the door? Trying to find it.
It was a front door.
But we're looking at how he got there.
Well, the question was what indicated on how fast they got there.
Alright, well, we've saved either way, so... Of course I have evidence that explains this contradiction. Okay.
Ah, damn it.
I just have to go get it.
Regretfully, Your Honor, we do not have such evidence in our possession. But fortunately, Your Honor, we live in a surveillance police state!
Oh.
One second here. And screen capped.
Pardon?
And that makes it pretty easy to surveil police officers. The officers' patrol car, their cell phones, traffic cameras, and optics data. I could request any of it. Hell. Your Honor, I formally subpoena all of it.
Yes!
There we go.
What?
Give me 1 quick second here. I'm adding in general for what's going to be the episode title.
I love when I'm right.
There's 1 point.
This has happened twice now in this case where I'm like, they should just do this thing, or it's just this thing. And the game is like, it's just this thing.
What? Can she do that?
I'm not sure. I'm still learning.
Ray's drunken swipe at my front door reminded me exactly how much power the police have. But it was her dutiful checking in that made me realize just how hard it is to lose a cop in this city. Whatever it takes to answer this question for the court. After Officer Chopin reported or he heard shots fired at 9:45 p.m., exactly how long did he and his partner do donuts in the parking lot before actually driving off to the scene?
Kind of a big ask from the defense, but it's entirely doable. Do the people object?
The people, of course, object to any data collection effort that would be a waste of taxpayers' money or a violation of their privacy. So we would prefer that the range of this request be narrowed somewhat.
Good thing we're not actually looking for any of the public's data. We're looking for the state's data because he's an agent of the state.
And if you want to get more specific, we could narrow it down to the district.
Yeah.
Narrow perhaps from everything to something.
Happy to do that, Your Honor. I promise not to act like a kid in a candy shop when browsing through.
If you do this, If you subpoena that data, you'll just see me driving like a lethargic moron. Officer Rogers?
He seems different.
Hardly recognize him.
Agreed, but I recognize his type. Soldier. Your Honor, what the defense is suggesting is largely accurate. Pardon?
That's a first.
Hey,
Though there are some corrections I feel I should make at this time.
no objections here.
Officer Chopin is the one who discovered the frequency when we apprehended Anchor Tong. He entered it into both our receiver apps at the time without my knowledge. It wasn't until the night in question that he chose to inform me of the intel he had obtained.
I just want to point out how quickly we went from "That's my man, how dare you imply something about him" to "Yeah, I'm gonna throw him under the bus if it means protecting my hind."
Yeah.
And I also just want to point out, so we just had an issue of perjury. We're not going to say anything about this right now. Really?
I feel like we should.
And how
I know.
he planned on acting on it. At 9:45 p.m., we received a signal. Before I could react, he had put out a notice on the police network that he had heard gunshots. It was at this time that he told me to drive towards Blue Blood territory.
Somebody
As he
hand
started
this
explaining to me what he
beer
believed
already,
he
huh?
would find, I chose...
Could you read that again? Robot just resubbed and ate all of you.
As he started to explain to me what he believed we would find, I chose to take a suboptimal route. We spent several minutes in traffic as he berated me for my sense of direction. So you both knew this silent alarm would lead you to some kind of blue blood emergency.
But only you realize that meant you should take your time getting there.
Logically, a silent alarm is triggered during a confrontation, not afterwards. I had no desire to walk into the crossfire of an orca gunfight without backup.
I should point out, actually, no. Silent alarms for anyone who uses them are trained to use them after a crime has occurred. Insurance reasons.
Yeah, but they're mafia.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. We're in a cyberpunk future. I'm pretty sure they'd probably have some kind of mob insurance.
You could have had backup easily. My partner had no desire to share our intel or how we obtained it. I apologize to the court, Your Honor, for being evasive or misleading during these proceedings. And I intend to take full responsibility for doing so. I was not eager to admit my role in my own cowardice played in these events. Nor would I ever want to imply that Officer Chopin was responsible in any way for his own murder. Very warm sentiments from the officer.
Delivered with a voice as cozy as ice water.
So you're telling the court that you and your partner arrived at what you expected to be a bloodbath, and you still shot the lock off a door and started stomping around inside while separated from one another? Respectfully, ma'am, with the route I took and the time it took for us to arrive, we expected to find all targets neutralized. And that expectation was reinforced when we arrived on the street and found the whole vicinity dead quiet. Yeah, we were still the first ones on the scene, despite my stalling for time. I think that might have enthused my partner. He was excited, and I let him set the pace. It's my deepest regret that I agreed with his request to split up.
First to arrive on the scene? We know that wasn't the case. A blue blood got there well before you and your partner.
That's what you were talking about? The witness wasn't present for that individual's testimony. He's merely given the facts as he knows them. And he can't have known that there was a blue blood in the building.
On the contrary, he already testified about encountering them yesterday, as they made a not-so-silent retreat down into the alleyway.
That was a blue blood making all that racket? I see. My partner Chopin, he shouted that there was someone scrambling around down in the alley not long before he was killed. He must have opened the windows on the 3rd floor to check. That's a new detail, Officer Rogers. Pardon me if I failed to mention it yesterday.
It occurs to me that you weren't present in the courtroom when this other curious detail was brought to light. The fact that there was another weapon at the scene of the crime.
A bloody knife, which somehow ended up down in the dumps.
Know anything about that?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Playing dumb? Wrong move.
But I do know Sinus is a bunch of amateurs with conflicted priorities.
Explain this to the court, then. Forensic analysis has already shown that this knife was the murder weapon used to stab Miller, getting a healthy amount of his blood on it in the process. It's also been established that this knife must have been what my client used to cut his own bindings.
If you say so.
The evidence says so.
If the defense isn't interested in asking the witness questions, perhaps they'll answer mine. What does this have to do with Officer Rogers?
Listen, rhetorical questions are still technically questions. Of course, everything of course. Allow me just to show you why. Do with Rogers. Okay, so we've got... Found Rogers arresting Oh! If Sosuke had the knife on him, Rogers is the one who arrested him, so he could have easily just taken it off of Sosuke and used it.
Yeah, London's testimony, that's it.
And just be on the safe side. We know for a fact that Sosuke had used the knife to cut his bonds. And Detective London has testified that Officer Rogers apprehended Sosuke alone. So why can't the officer who apprehended the man last known to be using this knife tell us how it ended up in the alley?
That is a question well worth asking the witness.
Thank you.
I have no idea what you're talking about. When I found your client, he had the magus and he had the sword. Sword he had stuck through my partner. This knife you're talking about? Where'd you find it?
In the trash. Drum.
Down in the alley? Well, then some crime scene tech idiot must have thrown it out thinking it was bio-waste. Or some Sinus lackey tossed it as a prank. I wouldn't know. Because I spent hours being debriefed in that room on the 3rd floor while they set up the arcs. I spent all night in a room with my partner's corpse. Never took a trip down to empty the recycling bin.
We know that the knife was with Sosuke at one point, and we know it ended up down the alley later. So it stands to reason that someone had to walk it downstairs and out of the building. If Rogers never left that room all night, then someone else must have moved it.
Nah, he definitely moved it.
Yeah. Quick. Zero points for you.
0 points again?
All that processing power and you can't manage to think in 3D? It doesn't matter if Officer Rogers stayed in that room all night, Your Honor. All anyone needed to do to dispose of the knife was to step out onto the fire escape and drop the knife down into the barrel waiting below. No need to leave the 3rd floor. No need to leave the crime scene at all, Officer Rogers.
What kind of trick shot bullshit are you talking about? That
Oh,
is
he's
a long
saving.
drop, Your Honor.
A straight drop. Gravity's convenient like that.
The target was a small drum in a dark alley.
Said drum was burning when the police arrived. The target would have been plainly lit and...
I have taken both of your arguments into consideration. After much deliberation, I have come to the conclusion that the proposed method of removing the knife from the 3rd floor is not actually that hard to do. Assuming a modicum of hand-eye coordination and basic understanding of Newtonian physics.
Well, obviously. Couldn't anyone manage that?
Practiced martial artists who are masters of every muscle in their body, individuals like yourself. And me. Might find it hard to relate. But there are some who would struggle with the task.
Yourself and I. Wait, hand-eye coordination?
Eloquently put, Your Honor. So you must agree that someone with hand-eye coordination so bad that they hold the record for worst marksmanship in the entire police department. Someone with such poor aim that they opted to physically assault a target rather than shoot them. Someone like that might find it impossible to pull that off. Fuck.
Are you talking about me?
She's talking about me, Your Honor. Now, while I find her tone unflattering, none of what she said is false.
Also, I'd be horrified if someone gave 80 a gun.
Apologies, that dropping knife on the fire escape didn't occur to me as a possibility. It must just be for that me personally, such a method of compromising a crime scene is not only unthinkable, it's impossible.
Of all the stupid details that come back and bite me in the ass, the piss poor aim that London mentioned. But, considering about the time we have, and we are still in the throes of having to fight through this guy, I think this is probably where we'll leave off, so that way we can come back to it next time.
Yeah.
So let me do a save. Alright, you guys tell people where they can find you while I find somebody for us to raid.
Yeah, you can find me at Zakoduo everywhere, YouTube doing the Gundam stuff, Twitch. Eventually, I'm coming up about a year on my hiatus. I'm looking to break that here soon if I can get my hands on some assets.
You can find me all over the internet at Tixdixl, and in a little over an hour's time, we're going to be playing some Dungeons and Dragons over on my channel. That is about all I've got going on, in current.
Alrighty, and you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Blue Sky and YouTube at Burnout Vaughn, over on Patreon, Burnout's Bar. Tomorrow, you can find us back here on this channel for some more Threadbare Suits, where this is the last time I get to make this joke, so I'm going to savor it for a moment. We get to see if we will survive our encounter with the Nobbler. But, with that in mind, keep your eyes out, because we should be returning also with Paper Mario and the Cosmic Caper coming up this Tuesday, so keep your eyes on that. and I will keep you posted as more things happen. But with that out of the way, I think since we've mentioned the Lost and the Found, we should maybe raid into one of those current party members who's currently going, our good friend Punky, who's doing some peek.
Before we do,
Oh yeah?
before we do, check ship posting. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, let me see. Thank you, Saris. Thank you.
Just doing my civic duty, sir.
But I think for the raid message, I think it's going to be pretty easy for this one, which is, have you heard of a subpoena?
Yeah.
But thank
And
you all
let me
for coming.
spell that out for people.
True.
There we go, folks.
All right. Thank you all for coming out. We will see you again in 2 weeks' time. Thank you. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.